Dan Illman, Mike Buer kicking off the 50-cent late pick 4 on Jim Dandy Saturday at Saratoga with graded stakes action, grade 1 stakes action, very competitive edition of the Alfred G Vanderbilt Handicap, older sprinters going 3/4 of a mile. Remember to download the DRF Bets app when you're playing the Saratoga meet. You'll get to double your payout on our Rad Ortiz ridden winners all meet long at Saratoga. It is exclusive for DRF Bets app users. Here's the field for the grade 1 Alfred G Vanderbilt Handicap. You've got Breeders' Cup Sprint winner from 2020, Whitmore in here. Whitmore is 4-1. He never gets respect, Mike. I went through his past performances. He was the favorite in the 2017 De Francis Dash, I believe, and since then, he has only been favored at Oaklawn.
Yeah, that's very interesting considering the resume this horse has put together. It's surprising that he doesn't get more respect, I guess. But, then again, Dan, they just run him in nothing but tough races. So the competition for favoritism is pretty tough in those races.
Let's throw up the time form U.S. pace projector. Strike Power of the 4 is a fast horse. I'm not sure he's good enough to beat this field. Special Reserve is much improved. He has tactical speed. We all know Firenze Fire can be put anywhere in the body of the race. Mischievous Alex, he in many ways might be the horse to beat. He's going to be in mid-pack.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the morning line favorite, Mischievous Alex, is going to get probably the right kind of trip in here, Dan. I mean, he's not slow, that's for sure. He's not going to be on the lead in here, but he shouldn't really be that far away. He's very handy.
The number 1 Lexitonian might not be the most consistent horse in the world, but occasionally he'll pop a big number at a big price. He won the Chick Lang back in 2019 at 17-1. He was third in the Phoenix at 46-1. He was second in the Bing Crosby at 8. He was second in the Churchill Downs Stakes last 2 starts back at 46-1. The problem is you never really know what you're going to get with Lexitonian. His good race puts him in the mix for at least a piece of the price.
Yeah, that's all those things are very true. He's a very difficult horse to get a read on, but he will every once in a while he'll just jump up with a really good performance. And I actually thought he did that 2 starts back in that Churchill Grade 1. I mean, that was just a blanket finish. It was kind of up for grabs all through the stretch. But I thought he ran pretty well in that race.
Mischievous Alex came out firing as a 4-year-old, winning his first 3 starts, including the Grade 1 Carter. They stretched him out to a 1-turn mile in this race, the Grade 1 Metropolitan Handicap. He got right up close to the pace in this spot, and I wonder if the mile was just a little bit too far for him. He still finished ahead of 2 next out graded stakes winners. Nick Sco, of course, won the Cornhusker with a 113 buyer, and Dr. Post, who won the Monmouth Cup. He tried hard in this race. Turning back should really help him.
Yeah, it probably will. Maybe he's just more of a sprinter. I don't think the mile got him beat here. I think he just got beat by 2 better horses in this race. But all in all, he ran fine. Cutting back is good for him. He's supposed to get a good trip in here. As the favorite, Dan, to be perfectly honest, I just want to try to beat him because I'm still not a big believer in him. I do not believe that 109 buyer that he got 2 starts back for 1 second. And I just want him to sort of prove that he's really that kind of a horse. And if he's going to keep being short prices, I'm going to keep trying to bet against him.
Number 3, Firenze Fire, a 14-time winner. He's banked $2.5 million in his career. He's won plenty of fast races. And let's watch his most recent start, the Nehru at Belmont on the 4th of July, going 7/8 of a mile. And he's down inside in a pitched battle with another very game horse in Mind Control. And I wonder if Firenze Fire really liked being down on the rail. They throw it down after disputing a moderate pace, and they just sprint on home ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, he runs fine in here. No excuse for him not to win, but just a long duel, and he came out second best to a horse who not only is a multiple Grade 1 winner, but perhaps a horse in Mind Control who just maybe wanted the 7 furlongs a little bit more than Firenze Fire did. We'll see. He's cutting back to 6 for this. I think that's a good thing. And I just really like the fact, Dan, that, his last 2 races, they've used his speed. He had the rail both times. They used his speed both times, and it worked out pretty well, but they do not have to ride him that way in this race. They can sit a little bit and make sort of one run from off the pace, and I like that for this horse.
You're absolutely right. He is a very underrated horse from the gate. He usually breaks very sharp, but then he comes to hand right away. I think they're going to just try to take him to the outside behind the speeds and just park in behind and make a bid on the turn. Strike Power is the number 4. Again, he's fast and he's likely the speed of this race. I just couldn't find an excuse for his most recent start. Maybe 7/8 was a little too far in the Kelly's Landing. I just think he's a notch below Grade 1 status.
Me too. He does have speed. He can probably make the lead in this race. I suppose that makes him dangerous because he has jumped up a time or two and run a triple-digit buyer. And I guess if he runs one of those, he could still be there at the end. I just don't think he's good enough to beat this field.
He wasn't against a Sharpie last time out. Bango, the winner of the Kelly's Landing, came back to win the Good Lord at Ellis with a 94 buyer. 3 Technique, the number 5, might be a little bit of a sleeper for Jeremiah Engelhardt. He has to prove his mettle against graded stakes competition. We just saw him finish 3rd in the Nehru, and that was a race where there just wasn't a lot of pace to set up for him.
True enough. I mean, I actually felt like he ran pretty well last time, sitting in behind most of the way there. He had a little trouble trying to push his way off the inside. I don't think he was winning. I thought he ran fine. His race 2 back was also okay, I guess, although he never looked like he was going to win. I don't know, Dan. I've been a real fan of this horse, and I'm sort of finally at the point where maybe I'm ready to give up on him a little bit, but I do think it's interesting that Jeremiah is going to run him in here.
Last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint winner Whitmore came back as good as new as an 8-year-old this year, Mike. He hasn't won yet, but he gave CZ Rocket, arguably the best sprinter in the land, 2 good shots at Oaklawn. And then last time out, he looked like a winner, about 150 yards out at Churchill. And I wonder if the 7 got him. He's getting back to 6 furlongs. He should get a solid pace. He'll be rolling late. 4-1's fair.
That's very fair. He's obviously can win this race. He's proven several times over that he's at least as good as anybody else in here. I thought his first 2 races at Oaklawn were fine, Dan. He didn't have any excuse either time, but it just turns out that CZ Rocket's come back really good this year. Boy, his last race was harder for me to make me want to jump on board here. I don't know how he didn't win.
Miles Ahead's the number 7. He won his 2nd lifetime start for a 12,500 maiden claiming tag. He's now with Rusty Arnold after winning a graded stake. Let's watch the Smile Sprint at Gulfstream on July the 3rd. And maybe the Smile Sprint isn't a race that it used to be 10 years or so ago, but Miles Ahead was game in here. He got up close to a moderate pace. He finishes it off well enough. I think he's going to have to do better against these.
Agreed. Good effort here. I'm not going to knock this horse. I'm also not going to bet him in this race.
Montauk Traffic, the number 8, has a puncher's chance if this pace really heats up. It looks like this horse is in career best form for trainer Linda Rice. Let's watch Montauk Traffic's most recent start for an open 100,000 optional. Way on the outside is Montauk Traffic, and he's just going to eventually sweep by these horses. He didn't break great in this race. It really doesn't matter if he breaks great or not because he's going to be coming from last or thereabouts.
Yeah, great. I mean, listen, his last 2 races are good. He's done this in both of them. Now 2 starts back. Both he and 3 Technique sort of got outrun early. They both swung wide in the race, and they ran 1-2 in there, but it was 3 Technique who got the better of Montauk Traffic. This horse ran really well last time. We'll see if he can get there. I'm a fan of this horse, Dan. I want to try to use him somewhere. I'm going to be kind of surprised if he runs everybody down in here.
We're used to seeing Michael Maker claims do well when stretched out on the turf. He took Special Reserve for $40,000. The horses won 3 of 4, including the Grade 3 Maryland Sprint and this race. Career best buyer performance of 101 in the Iowa Sprint. Now, the Iowa Sprint was a short field, and as they turn into the stretch, there's a 3-year-old on the lead in quiet tempo, and he'll be running in at Del Mar on Saturday. Special Reserve just parked right off of him, takes the lead in the stretch, goes about his business. Now this is the acid test. He's facing way tougher competition. I do like his tactical speed, and I like how the pace projector has him. If he's sitting off strike power, he's going to have a big shot turning into the stretch.
Yeah, and it feels like he could get that trip too. We'll see how he does it. I think he deserves this chance to step up into a race like this. He's obviously been very good since Maker claimed him. That win right there, I mean, he was just kind of doing what he had to do. They didn't even try to make the lead with him that day. They let that other horse go because they knew they were the best, and they were right. But even his race 2 back then was a really good effort.
Let's take a look at our top picks. It goes so many different ways in the Grade 1 Alfred G. Vanderbilt. Firenze Fire is just an old class master. Love his tactical speed. Tried hard last time out. And I agree with you. I think the trip coming this time, they're not going to force his hand early. They're going to sit a little bit.
Yeah, I doubt they'll send him this time, although they could if they wanted to. I think they'll sit, maybe get the right trip in here. I still think there's a chance he's just the best horse in the race, Dan. Maybe that will prove not to be the right opinion when this is all said and done. But he's not going to be the favorite in here. And if he's not the favorite, then I'll bet him.
Like you, I want to use a little Montauk Traffic underneath. I think this is a horse that's getting good. And if this pace falls apart, he's going to come with a run. I'm curious to see what we get from Special Reserve off those last 2 big figs. I do think he can get the right kind of trip from the outside. 3-6-2-8 for Mike, 9-2-8-3 for me. It's the Grade 1 Vanderbilt, one of 3 graded stakes at the Spa on Saturday. Good luck.